Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, as you can see, we are back. And we're going to start it off like this. For the man himself, for my guest, my co-host with the most, Mr. Rise. No, let me do it again. Mr. Rise.
We are all dirty.
We are all dirty. Understand that. Understand that. This is the ONYXCON Fitness's Sports Talk with yours truly, Joseph R. Wheeler III, the artist, founder, and president of the ONYXCON Foundation, joined with my co-host with the most when it comes to this sports talk. That is Mr. Rise Up. And as you may notice, you see, we're working with some new tech, and I want to thank this brother on the air because not only is he my day one, but he's a true one, man. This brother, conceded we were having our issues with sound. He's always loved ONYXCON. He came out and supported it at the actual event when we did that back in the day. And here we are now that we're doing everything online. He's like, yo, man, you're going to have to, I know you want a headset. I got you. I'm donating to ONYXCON. We're going to make sure you got that by the next show. And here we are. That's what it takes.
Respect, bro.
That's what it takes, bro. That's what it takes. And while I'm in the shout out mood, because I know people gonna say, "What's that on your shirt?" Let me give y'all what that is. If you ain't watching, you need to be checking that. All right. Shout out to our brother, our mutual brother from back in the day all the way to today, Mr. Diallo Riddle, and the Riddle Entertainment Group, which is part of the show running team of him and Bashir Salahuddin for Sherman's Showcase. Season 2 is right now running on AMC Plus and also IFC. Don't wait for it to come on Hulu. Watch it now, either one of those. Support your folk. ATL is in the house. Please believe that all day, every day.
The Phillies unleashed the bats on them in Game 3, so they looked like they had them down, bro. Game 4, Astros came out in no-hit Philly. It was the combined no-hitter on the second in World Series history. Then, for good measure, they took
in the history of since the day.
Yep. I mean, that's unusual because you figure by the time you get there, it's the two best teams, or certainly the two hottest teams. So to go without a hit, extremely rare. So then, for good measure, Astros knocked them off 3-2 last night. So they got the momentum and the lead going back to Houston for the last two games if needed. And I'll say this: they've taken a lot of heat because they were found to be cheating going back to the 2017 World Series when they won. Yeah, it was an elaborate sign stealing scheme using a camera from center field, and they were banging a trash can. Like they would use that to detect what pitch was coming. So then they would bang the trash can, and that would let the hitter know what pitch it was based on the catcher. So it was diabolical. So they've taken a lot of heat, got fined, this and that, new regime. Now, so here's what happens, right? Mm-hmm. And this goes back to the conversations we've had or touched on about the lack of black coaches in the NFL, right?
Right.
They always bring a brother in for the cleanup job, right? Rarely do we ever get, top pick, or, do you just get in like Phil Jackson, you get to coach the Bulls, coach the Lakers at full power. No, we get the reclamation project. And that's what Dusty Baker got going to Houston. And so, they still had a good team, but they were basically disgraced. So you bring somebody like Dusty in, who is a baseball lifer, and whose integrity is beyond reproach. And this is like maybe the fifth major league club he's managed, or maybe more than that. But anyway, the point is he's got him back to the World Series for the second year in a row and looking to maybe win his first as a manager. And I hope he takes it, man, because he's a class guy. Yeah. Dusty goes back in the major leagues to Hank Aaron. When Dusty came up with the Braves back when, he was a pup, and Hank Aaron took him under his wing and really taught him how to be a big league ball player and be a man. And rest in peace, Hank, one of the best humans
the hammer forever
could have ever met. Yep.
For sure. Yeah, wow, that's amazing, man. I mean, I got friends and fam up in Philly, so that'd be the only reason if they did pull it off, I'd celebrate for them. But other than that, I'm with what you're saying. That's pretty much all it is to it. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that happen for that brother. That's what's up.
Me too.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's talk NFL, man. This is week 9.
Golly. Hey, listen. On the fantasy front, I'm rolling in one league. The league I care less about in the other league. Taking a Deontay right cross to the chin, so I gotta right the ship, brother. I gotta get the train back on the tracks. Chugga. Got to get back on the tracks, man.
Chugga.
That's it.
Speaking of track, no promo, but I just love this thing so much, man. I just got this Hot Wheel the other day. My nephew would have a fit.
Oh, that's dope.
Okay, man.
That's dope.
This thing here, dude, and it's a train. It's based on a train.
Oh no.
Okay.
That's dope.
So when you get back on the track, making sure it's all gold, brother, all gold.
Bruh.
But yo, I basically, man, let me tell you, when it comes to this whole thing, and I looked at your numbers from the last time, I said, there's no wonder why this man is hitting 2 leagues in fantasy. Bro, you was like 90-something% on with everything you said. I mean, it was only a few, and even the few, everything you said about the members of the team, it was just right on. I was like, man.
I appreciate you, man. It was off the dome. You know what I mean? It was off the dome. So
yeah,
hey, let's hit them again.
All right, so we got Eagles versus. Well, that was already over. Eagles beat the Texans. Excuse me. 29-17. That's the done deal there. What do you think was the reason for that result? I mean, the Eagles just got it like that. They doing it?
Oh, far and away the best team in the league right now. Clicking. Jalen Hurts playing at the MVP level. A.J. Brown came in the offseason, right? Salary thing, and he was already one of the league's top receivers. See, he and Jalen are friends. They go back, okay? And he's a true number one that Jalen needed. You still got Devontae Smith, and it just a litany of other weapons. They're well coached. They got a great owner who spends money. Strong defense, secondary is killing it. And again, we talked about the Texans. They're close to, if not the worst team in the league. They're on the, in the rebuilding phase. They'll be back. But again, that was just that was like the varsity playing JV or maybe even middle school. I mean, it just was, man.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, Colts versus Patriots. Who you got and why?
New England. New England, because number one, Colts are struggling to find themselves. They've been beset with injuries. Matty Ice got hurt and has lost the starting job, and unfortunately that's probably going to signal the end of his career in the NFL. It's been a good one, 15 years.
Wow.
First 14 with Atlanta. Took us to the Super Bowl, should have won it, won the MVP in 16. So, all right.
That's what's up.
But so he's been replaced by Sam Ehlinger, young quarterback out of Texas, strong arm, whatever. He's projects to be certainly more of the future than Matt would. But the Colts are just hurt all across the board. Jonathan Taylor, star running back, breakout from last year, he's hurt. They're just depleted. And the Patriots, I mean, they've had their issues. Mac Jones, their quarterback, had been out. I told you the rookie was playing well. But hey, you talking about somebody that can make chicken salad out of chicken shit, it's going to be Bill Belichick. He's going to scheme and stop whatever you do. And the Colts don't do a whole lot. So there you have it.
Bam. Packers versus Lions.
By default, Lions are struggling, right? My man Swift, the running back, Bulldog, he had been hurt. And his backup has done well, but the defense can't stop a nosebleed. Right? I expect the Packers to do it. They're not winning; only gets them back to 500. The Vikings are running away. With the NFC North. They have the offensive weapons that the Pack don't. And just seem to have a better camaraderie. That thing that's the other thing about Philly. Philly's have winning and having fun, right? That's what you want. I'm telling you, the best unit chance to win. And that's not just about on the field; it's away from the field too. If you generally enjoy one another's
camaraderie,
that's it.
Got to be a real team, not just saying the word, but really be it.
That's it.
Falcons versus Chargers. I mean, we.
And listen, I was wrong. I was. Oh no. So I'll say, Birds are going to take it. They got the momentum. Okay, we made a trade. This was an especially active trade deadline. There were like 10 transactions on the day and like 15 leading up to it, which was way more than usual. Sometimes the trade deadline will come and go in the NFL with no moves. Falcons made a couple. We sent out the safety, I think Dean Marlowe, good riddance. He got burned in the Panthers game and almost cost us the game if it weren't for a late unsportsmanlike penalty on Carolina. But anyway, he gets burnt and then he gets sent on the next thing smoking. But we traded and we traded him for 7th, traded him for a seventh, and then traded that seventh away and got a corner to bolster the secondary because ours had been banged up. Casey Hayward was on IR, and AJ Terrell, our all-pro corner, had been banged up. So Chargers are weak against the run. They're beset with injuries. Keenan Allen's going to be out, so they're going through it. So I expect the Falcons to run the ball and win.
So being so casual, has it always been a trend in the NFL to trade mid-season players and everything? No. Okay, I always thought this is some new stuff. Yeah,
it is. And so here's what's happening with that. The NFL is almost taking the lead of the NBA when it comes to how they manage the salary cap and different things, because it's all about, both leagues have a rookie wage scale. In other words, you sign a rookie contract, and depending on where you get taken, first round first pick on down to seventh round last pick, and then undrafted free agents, it's a sliding scale, right? But even the top paid rookie, i.e. the number one pick of the first round, does not get paid nearly as much as the highest paid veteran. And if you think about it, that makes sense, because you're unproven. As good a prospect as you may be, or whatever you did before coming to the league, you haven't proven yourself in the league. Okay, so it's the same thing with the NBA. So what ends up happening, you get a very much an advantage if you have an outperformer on a rookie contract, because you can take those dollars and allocate them elsewhere. Okay, so now what's happening? If you're a first rounder, basically you can sign up to a 5-year contract. Every other round is like 4. So if you outperform and get close to your second contract, if the team makes re-signing you a priority, they'll do that. But if they either don't or feel like they can't afford you under the cap, they'll trade you. That's why AJ Brown was traded to Philly. It wasn't that he wasn't good. He's phenomenal. But they knew they couldn't re-sign him and keep their other pieces and do whatever they wanted to with a team. Plus certain positions they just think are replaceable, and they can get a similar production cheaper. So I say all that to say, this flurry of activity, teams are being more proactive about managing that cap and the talent they have under their roster. So that's why you see all of these moves. You even see more off-season trades, right? Things you never used to, right? I mean, listen, this new breed of GM, they're wheeler dealers, and that's across all 3 of the major sports.
All major sports. Wow, that's deep. Okay, Bills versus Jets. I'm gonna say Bills just from what I've heard and from what you told me last time. And I don't know. I just get a feeling. That's all I'm gonna go with that. And
I had that same feeling. Bills are one of, if not the very well, they're right there neck and neck with Philly. They have lost. The Dolphins beat them, but stud quarterback, loaded on offensive and defense, and getting healthier. Their secondary had been banged up, so they had tended to be outscoring teams. But the Jets had been playing well. They lost their last game, and they lost their star rookie running back Breece Hall to an ACL, so he's out. So I fully expect the Bills to go in there.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that's happening, and one of the you're starting to hear this chorus get louder and louder. The players want to play on grass because it feels better and it's more natural. It just doesn't look as good. There's a few considerations. Aesthetically, grass is more expensive to maintain, and it doesn't look as good, right? Because you figure in ultra HD 4K, you want the field to look pristine. So that's
gonna be solid green. You're gonna see the brown spots. You're gonna see the torn areas.
Correct. And so that's
natural, people. This is the earth. This is football. This is the original rawhide.
Well, and again, that's what they grow up playing on, right? Right. Pound ball, high school, straight college. It's grass.
Yeah.
But see, the move now is to field turf. Once you get it installed, there's really no upkeep. I mean, it even has some kind of like, there's some science and engineering behind how drainage works, right? And it has these like it's so weirdly, it's kind of like it's environmentally sensible because it uses a lot of recycled rubber, like old tire tread, and they like chunk it up. So it has bits of rubber in it. That way it's not so hard. Like the old AstroTurf had concrete under it. It was hard as hell. That's how they used to wear, like in the Silver Dome back in Detroit, the linemen and stuff, they used to wear basketball sneakers because the surface was smooth like that, and you could go real fast on that AstroTurf, but it was hard and bad for your body. So field turf kind of like act with the rubber. It acts as a shock absorber, but it's so the actual turf itself is so the term is escaping me, but in other words, if you plant your foot would stay, but the rest of your leg is gonna move. That's why you see a lot of a receiver goes to make a quick cut, foot stayed, knee went this way, and that's bad news bears.
Yeah, man, you get hit like, oh my gosh.
So man. I'm saying you see it happen all the time to high profile players. So they want to play on grass. So anyway, that's a situation like a Breece Hall. It's unfortunate, but that's how a lot.
That's a major point. When was the last time on a sports show you heard anybody get that deep on what is really going on the field? When was the last time? This is why we got Mr. Rise Up. You can watch all those other channels if you want to, but if you want the real deal, come to ONYXCON. I'm just saying. I'm blown away. What in the world? That comes from years of reading. That comes from years of being into this.
Yep.
I've never heard anyone break that down like that. That was amazing. Amazing.
I appreciate it, bro. And if all you need to do is go down to, because listen, they like at Lakewood Stadium, down in the city.
By the way, Atlanta, y'all.
It's field turf. Okay, it's field turf. Wow. Same kind of thing, right? It costs $1 million to put in, but again, after that, upkeep is negligible. But I'm saying, go stand on that, and then go stand on the grass field. You would instantly know the difference. Instantly.
So as far as the injury part of it, I agree. I love everything you're saying. Economically, eco-wise, especially. That's the main part I'm concerned with. You're talking about grinding up tires. I'm loving it. You're talking about using anything to start recycling. I'm loving it. But when you say the players aren't feeling it, what in particular? Just to reiterate that, what in particular is bothering them?
Well, I think they feel like their movement feels more natural on a grass field, right? And they can again, you're talking about some of the best athletes on the planet. They are big, they are fast, they are athletic. And so again, think about this, okay? You spend all this time and effort, and I'm saying not just in a short span, I'm saying for your lifetime, getting ready and prepared to make sure your body and your mind, everything is fine-tuned to go out there and perform at the highest level.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to be thinking about is, oh man, when I go to make my cut, is my knee gonna buckle? That takes you off your game. You're operating at 80, 85, 90% and not 100% flat out. So that's again, these guys are like fine-tuned performance sports cars, man, or race cars.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need the conditions need to be right
to be
for that for that vehicle. So that's kind of where it's at. And I'm saying Cooper Kupp, who's one of the most high profile receivers in the league, came out and was, because he almost suffered a season-ending injury in the game just last week. So again, when you start hearing it from those folks, it's something the competition committee is going to have to take up in the offseason. Again, without that product on the field, you got no viewership. Your eyeballs lead to your dollars, and they're not going to jeopardize that.
How about that? Wow. Once again, the game behind the game, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, woo, woo. All right. Vikings versus Washington Commanders.
Vikings.
Yeah, I'm with the Vikings.
I missed the Commanders pick the other week. They flipped the script and put it on the pack, but Vikings are clicking. They got one. Speaking of receivers, they got one of the best in the league, Justin Jefferson. He's in his third year, absolute stud. Vikings have a new head coach, and he's an offensive minded guy and has them clicking, brings that young energy, and they seem to have that thing. Defense is playing well. They get a good amount of takeaways. They're just a very good ball clubs. And the Commanders, again, hot mess. just came out, it just came out this week that the feds are investigating them for financial improprieties, which looks to be the death knell for Daniel Snyder, whose ownership has been problematic. I think he bought the team in '99, and he's just been crooked the whole time. So I think this finally will be the linchpin to them selling the team, and they could go for a record. Pat Bowlen, who was the former Broncos owner, when he passed, his estate put the Broncos up for sale. It ended up getting bought by Rob Walton, who's one of Sam Walton's sons and one of the Walmart heirs. He and I don't know who Penner is, but the rest of the ownership group basically bought it for a record. It was like $4.65 billion. Commanders are likely to go for over $5 billion. Billion.
That's with the B, y'all. That's with the B.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I mean, think about it, Joe. The team is crap, but the market, right? DC, forget about it.
Man, wow. That's awesome. Awesome news in some ways. I mean, just awareness. Let me briefly mention. It's funny. Every time I hear the Vikings or see their logo and their mascot, I think of it's ironic. I think of Kevin Grievous. Now, Kevin Grievous, if the name don't ring a bell immediately, you know who he is. You remember in the Underworld series, the vampires versus the werewolves? He's the real big bald-headed black werewolf, the leader of the Vikings.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I met that brother at ECBACC, East Coast Black Asian Comics Convention up in Philadelphia. Shout out. He was a guest. Yeah, he was a guest there one year. He never sat, as I remember, he never sat behind a table the whole time. He's just so much of a comic book fan. He just walked around the con the whole day, meeting folk just like anybody else. If anybody wanted to talk to him, you just come up right beside him and chat with him. He's cool as hell. Yeah. And then afterwards, we had they had a little after get together for all the artists and everybody. And I ended up, and we was in this Jamaican restaurant, man. I'm shoulder to shoulder with Kevin Grievous.
Oh, hulking, yeah.
Right. Who naturally talks like this. He's not making it. His voice.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But that dude right there, I don't think he was born in Minnesota. I don't even understand his connection. I'd love to interview him and ask him, but that dude is a diehard Vikings fan. If the Vikings win, he's going to be that dude.
I would have to Google him. I wonder, did he play ball?
Oh, I would think, but I mean, just because of his look. But yeah, you never know.
So I wonder if he wasn't, because he clearly wasn't a star in the NFL, because more people definitely would have heard of him. But maybe he was on the Vikings practice squad or went to training camp, because that would.
I would love to interview him. He's actually another Virgo, and I think we got the exact same birthday. Crazy enough.
Oh Lord!
Yeah. Only reason I know that is because of on Facebook. I follow him, and he was celebrating one year, and I said, "I'll be dang." Yeah. Shout out to you, Kevin, if you see this. I might send this to him. Hopefully they'll check it out. But Panthers versus Bengals. What's good? Interesting
matchup. Oh, you got it today. Love it. Love it. I'm gonna say Bengals. Panthers are playing much better. And again, here's one of those situations where ordinarily I wouldn't root for the Panthers, and I certainly wasn't last week, and I was glad the bird snuck out with the dub. We deserve some good fortune. But with that being said,
that's right.
The Panthers, got rid of their former coach, Matt Rule. And so Steve Wilkes is the interim coach, who is a veteran of college and NFL coaching circles. He was with the Panthers previously and got the Arizona Cardinals head job, and they only gave him one season before firing him. Okay. And everyone knew, and that almost never happens, right? Like almost never, unless you committed a crime. Yeah. They're going to give you at least a couple, if not a few, right? Even no matter how bad you are. So a lot of people felt like that was, and the Cardinals were tanking at the time anyway, because they had Josh Rosen, who was a rookie and not in a starting caliber NFL quarterback. They basically tanked, fired Steve, drafted Kyler Murray, and hired Cliff Kingsbury to bring this high-powered offense. They made the playoffs last year and got waxed, but outside of that, really haven't accomplished jack. So anyway, the deal in the Panthers locker room, they're playing for Wilkes because they want to see him get the permanent job, and so would I, right? Because the players really respond to him. He's a man's man and a player's coach. So, but in this particular game, I'll go with the Bengals, even without Chase, right? It's just how I see it, but I'm wishing them well.
I feel you. I love it. All right. We'll do this one, and then we'll go to a break, but Raiders versus Jags.
Don't nobody care.
I knew that dude forever.
He is too. That before we put this pick in, listen, you gotta appreciate Deion's swag and approach, man. Before they beat Southern, for their homecoming, or for, I guess it was homecoming, but when game day was there.
Okay.
Some southern players made a real crass video talking about they were going to you know, we're gonna take your chain and you ass, blah blah blah, and you know the
Whoa.
and oh yeah, and so the reporters asked Dion, they were like, "Did you see the video?" He was like, "Oh yeah, you know, I saw it. The players saw it the day before, and blah 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 blah." And he was like, "What do you think?" They were like, "Well, what do you think?" And Dion was like, "Oh, God bless him." Right? Like he doesn't even give things like that energy. Okay, and let me. I'm picking the Jaguars in that game, but let me pivot real quick to one thing that just happened. To one thing that just happened. You know, the untimely killing of Takeoff in Houston. You know, so intersection with Dion, Jackson State is in Houston to play Texas Southern over the weekend, and see, this is where having some care and compassion, and reading the room. Really comes in.
Wow.
Okay.
My dad's gonna let Dion, that's his favorite phrase, man. You go read the room.
Yeah.
Read the room. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen. Shout out to Big Russ, man.
Yeah.
The Dion came out. I mean, he's like, look, he has his team on lockdown based on what happened in Houston. Meaning, other than going to the game, y'all ain't leaving this hotel. Your family want to come see you. They're gonna come here, right? Because it's about preserving and protecting life. Something that was not done in that situation. Okay, Tony, keeping it on brand with the football. Tony Dungy said it years ago. Don't nothing happen good after midnight, right? That's his refrain when he was Tampa's coach and Indy's coach. So the unspoken: have your ass at home because you are a high-priced, high-value, highly recognizable asset in person. Okay,
you gotta recognize where you are in life. That's right.
Come on, okay. Which listen, we got to be fair and say people got to be allowed to live their life. Yeah. We've moved past COVID lockdown, and people got to go out and enjoy themselves, right? But do so sensibly, okay? You in a bowling alley, 2:30 a.m. in the morning, shooting dice, and you're the Migos, you're Quavo, you Takeoff. People know you.
That's what I heard, and I was done when I heard. I couldn't even take no more about it. When I shooting dice in a bowling.
Well, so again, you know, it's endemic to our culture, right? It's like
some cultures. This is why I say culture is plural, because I ain't never shot dice in my life like that.
And I haven't
ever shot it in a casino.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Right. I haven't either personally, not in that circumstance. But I'm saying it's just like playing checkers or playing dominoes or playing spades or eating wings or whatever, right? It's what people gather. Right. And do, but you got to think about it. Not that anyone set out with murder on their mind, because even if you're a gun toter, I don't think too many people have on their mind, my intention is to kill someone that day. I don't think that's what you're thinking. But again, you have it, you're inclined to use it, and the measures were not taken to keep people safe enough in that circumstance. And I'm saying, normally when you hear, listen, it's always tragic when it happens, you know, but it's little so-and-so, and you're like, oh, wow, this is terrible, RIP. It's Takeoff. I mean, the dude's phenomenal, and by all accounts, a phenomenal person, man, never hurt nobody, and was minding his own business. Hears shots and stands up.
Wow.
We got to do better. We have to do better.
Wow. With that, we're going to take a break. We'll be back.
They call it unforgettable. What about that bird? He's cool. He's black.
Yo, keep blowing. Yo, keep blowing.
Who says you have to clap with the white parts of your hand?
Yo, keep blowing.
Really bang it.
This is painful, dog.
I agree, it's very painful. Who are all you creepy people with them crazy blue eyes?
We are called Caucasians.
Come on, 5, 6, 7, and then get it, and get it, and get it.
And we're back. You understand? With the man himself, with all the news that you want, Mr. Rise Up. And coming out from the break, I wanted to make this statement. Also, hey, let me do this for him, because the break is, you know what I'm saying? Go on and get on that AMC Plus and IFC.
That's it.
Furman Showcase.
What's
up, D? We doing it, baby. I told you, we're gonna rep it to the end and then start it again. You understand? All right. So, yeah, you were just saying some pivotal statements, man, about, Deion Sanders and what he's doing at Jackson State, and particularly, man, the true fathering he's doing for that team. Because I've seen a lot of great interviews with this brother. The last one I just watched was in the it's like a theater, if anybody's ever seen this one, but he was in a theater at Jackson State and he was being interviewed by two brothers that do this economic based content on YouTube. I think it's what is it? I think it's Create Your Leisure or something, Your Leisure. You know who I'm talking about? These two brothers. Check them out, man. It wouldn't be hard to find if you just look up interviews with Deion. But they have some really amazing interviews. They interviewed Steve Harvey. They're up there now. They're moving towards Breakfast Club level interviews, like for real. They getting that momentum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So props to them and what they're doing. I love it. And you know, in that interview, it's one of the best I've heard since he was at Jackson State. And you can totally from that get every reason why he said, you know, I'm keeping my kids in the hotel for this game in Houston with what just happened. And that's what you got to do. I mean, it's just like, you know, what was it, sometime last year or earlier this year? I can't remember, but whatever. What was it? The All-Star game was in Los Angeles, right? For the NBA, was it?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I think so. I think that's what it was. And I'll never forget Ice-T. Shout out to the OG. That's one of my favorite old school legends.
To my keeping it real?
Yeah, and he straight up said, look, man, do not come out here to LA wilding out because it's still everything it used to be times 10 with all this new activity with gang stuff. Just don't get caught up and be out here flossing and acting a fool. There's people who ain't got what you got, who want what you're getting, or just right there where you at and want to see what you about with that. They on that level and that's all they know. You know, that's to them, that's life. So
get it how you live. That listen, that's sensible advice anywhere, as far as I'm concerned.
Anywhere in the world. So, you know, and it's sad that it has to be said. It ought to just be common sense, especially for all these folks who say they come from these environments. You know, we're blessed to have not lived in the worst of everything. May have had our brushes with it and definitely know people from all walks of life, but not having to live steeped in it, you know what I mean? So when you understand the world from all these different perspectives, man, and then you got these kids coming from, not everybody on the football team is coming from a bad situation. I mean, a good many do, but still, you got an example, and it gets no better than somebody like Deion Sanders for what he's created for y'all. Y'all are gonna literally, if you have to live. It's like that's the way you show this man you appreciate what he's done for you. You know.
You know that's an. I mean, you know, Deion is obviously a deeply, you know, religious and spiritual person. Now he got, you know, saved or whatnot while he was in the league and kind of evolved from that neon Deion persona. But you know, he's still a very recognizable person. But he's using his, you know, as they say, the three T's: time, talent, and treasure. To really impact and make a difference in these kids' lives. Because listen, he doesn't have to do this. He wants to do it. And I'm saying he's a father. He has sons on the team, and you got to think about it. This is true everywhere, including the major, you know, the Power 5 schools. The majority of them will not be going to the pros, right? So you're helping prepare them for a life outside of athletics and, you know, the undergraduate.
That's right.
You know, as an adult. And so listen, it ain't just our parents that mold and shape us. It's a whole village. And you know,
it's again, the village,
okay, you gotta love where he's coming from.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And so as we move forward on the more Mr. Rise Up's excellent picks, you can guarantee these, y'all. I'm telling you, you can always be in the 90 percentile.
I'm gonna take it to Vegas myself. I'm just giving these jumps for free game.
Well, it ain't free because it's for a good cause, for ONYXCON. You know what I'm saying? We do it like that, yeah.
Fair.
But check it. So I had all these other ones on my list, but we're gonna jump right down to who I really want to talk about.
Go ahead.
So, Ravens and Saints, of course. Number 8 in the crew about to mop.
And listen, we're biased openly, but in fairness, you know, Ravens are gonna put it on them, and it wouldn't matter where they're playing. Again, Saints depleted. Michael Thomas, former Pro Bowl receiver. He was out all of last year. Missed a lot of 2020. Played 3 games this year, and looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the season with a toe. So, Sean Payton has left the building. He's no longer calling the plays. Drew Brees long since left the building. So Sunday going to be all Lamar all the time.
There it is. Stay healthy and bring it on. That's what's up. All right, talk about the Dolphins and the Bears.
Fins, baby. Fins, right?
Fins?
So,
all right, okay.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. Number one, love their core on offense. Tua, you know, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. But, you know, now they have a wealthy owner Stephen Ross, who will spend money. I haven't agreed with everything he's done, including getting rid of the former coach, Brian Flores. But anyway, point is, they have a good young coach in Mike McDaniel, and they have an owner who will spend money. And Dolphins do have a black GM who is, again, wheeling dealing. They made a couple of key deals at the trade deadline, brought in Jeff Wilson, running back from the Niners, and they got Bradley Chubb, who's a star defensive player from Denver. So Miami is, again, they're trying to strike while the iron is hot and do it just now, because, again, Tua is still on his rookie contract. So that's what I was saying about those dollars you have to allocate elsewhere. That's how you win in the league. So, listen, Bears are playing better. Fields is improving. Bears got Chase Claypool from the Steelers, who are not doing well at all. So you at least got another weapon for Justin. But again, Dolphins are further along that developmental curve, and I expect them to take it.
Man, all of this trading and everything, and again, from my casual perspective, which lends itself to the more business side of it, which I enjoy hearing you break that down. This is another reason why it's so hard for me to see the logic in people being what I used to be when I was a diehard fan. I'm talking about high school years when I really cared. And, I mean, I'd be upset over a game on Monday and all that. Man, your favorite, whoever your favorite players are, at any given time, can end up on the team you hate them. You say, I hate them, I can't stand it. It's so psychologically silly to me to take it to that level. Yep. It's like on the real, you could basically buy every cap for every team and just switch about as to however you feeling in the moment, because any given day your team might be somewhere else.
Agree. And because it's, to your point, it's business. Let me read something real quick. Okay. This is related to corporate, or maybe just working in general, which we all have to do in some shape or form, but it applies to sports. But I think it's timely based on what you just described. Okay. So the context of this is they're gutting Twitter, as you know, right? Elon has been CEO.
The Musk effect. Oh my gosh.
But I'm saying, Joe, it's shameful what they're doing. It's not just reducing staff. You're making the platform less safe. I mean, they 86 their experience engineering team and usability. So essentially what's going to end up happening, the midterm elections are this coming Tuesday. By the time that rolls around, you may have no one at Twitter HQ to police the misinformation that's going to come across that site, which is super recognizable across the globe. So it is an absolute, it is a damn shame what's taking place. But so I said that because you need that context to understand this state. And I'm saying, those folks got word today. They were sent home yesterday, and they said, "Hey, if you're going to remain as an employee, you're going to get an email to your work address. If you no longer, you're going to get an email to your personal." Now, imagine waking up and see which one comes across. You go into your Gmail and see something saying, "Hey, don't even bother coming in." Like, that's earth-shattering for many of us who work is it's an indelible part of our identity. But here's the statement, okay? Today is a reminder of why I tell people who say they love their jobs to not love anything that can't love you back. A job is a transaction, and your employer has all the power in that transaction.
Now, who we quoting and what's the source? Break it down.
So the quoting a brother named Dare, who is a very well-known software engineer.
Spell his name. I'm gonna look him up later. So spell his name.
I'll send it to you. Okay.
Gotcha.
Dare, right?
Okay.
So, but anyway, the sentiment is universal. Okay. He articulated it very well.
He did. Yeah, that's a hell of a statement. Yeah.
And I'm saying it's a tweet, right? It's on Twitter, but I'm saying it's so timely based on what's taking place. But I'm saying,
so damn
Joe,
haiku.
we can apply that sentiment to anything, including fandom. To your point, it just underscores everything you just said.
Straight up. Yeah, man, that's heavy as all get out right there. Yeah, right on, man. Oh my. Yeah, ooh. Yeah, we're not gonna get off into the politics as a 501c3. We can't. But all I will say is make sure you vote.
That's it.
So do that.
That's it.
Doggone it. Okay. All right. Let's see. We did Raiders and the Bears. We said Fins all day on that. Seahawks versus Cardinals.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good game.
That's gonna be the good one.
That's gonna be a good game.
Okay.
I'll give a slight edge to Seattle.
I'm rolling with the Hawks just out of again. That started with Russ and my love for their colors and their mascot. I loved it. I always like that. I like that traditional native motif to the way the bird is illustrated and all that. I just always loved that. So they got me with that alone.
Yep. Right.
But yeah.
It's long since there's 17 games, so this is literally the midpoint. So this is where the rubber starts to meet the road, and you see those teams that are going to be contenders and the ones that fall back and be pretenders. So I got the Hawks too, man. I got the Hawks too.
Rams and Bucks.
Don't nobody care. The Rams are still in the Super Bowl hangover, right? They're 500 team. They just got waxed by the 49ers last Sunday in LA, sir. 49ers put that thing on them. Put that thing on them. And listen, everybody is beating up on Tampa, right? And poor Brady's getting it in the...
Yeah, I've been hearing about that. That's crazy.
Tabloid media and the sports section.
I know he's getting it because they try and make it like it's invincible.
Well, listen, he's a man of his word. He said he was gonna play until he sucks, and guess what? Now he does.
Damn.
Garbage.
I was waiting on it. I knew it had to be there somewhere. Where's the garbage?
Yeah. Hey, don't nobody feel for him. Man got 7 Super Bowls and $70 million. So don't nobody care.
I think he's gonna be all right.
Oh, he's gonna be more than Joe. He's got listen. All right, this is talk about a charmed life. Okay,
man.
The minute I might have mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. The instant he steps away from the playing field, the man has a 10-year, $375 million contract waiting for him to join the booth for Fox Sports. So come on, bro.
Whenever you're ready, we're ready for you, sir.
Well, again, right? I mean,
wow.
He stirs the drink. People love that face, right? Even if they picture themselves punching it, it is what it is, right?
They know how to play it. That is, man. I swear.
But here's the flip side to that.
Okay.
Bruce Arians stepped aside as Tampa coach. They won the Super Bowl. Brady's first year there, which was 2 years ago. Made the playoffs last year. Incidentally, got bumped out by the Rams on their way to the title. Arians stepped down. Arians he's an honorary brother, Kangol and everything, because all 3 of his coordinators already were black. Byron Leftwich, former, star quarterback, because the OC, Todd Bowles, very accomplished defensive coach, was the defense coordinator. Keith Armstrong, who used to be with the Falcons for many, many years, is a special teams coach. And I'm saying they have black and minority assistants down the line, including women on the staff, multiple women, strength and conditioning.
Wow.
Listen, props to Bruce, props to BA, right? If I'm saying diverse and inclusive out the wazoo, okay? Arians stepped aside so Todd Bowles could assume the head job, because he's like, look, I don't want to wait and delay this and wait till the team gets bad. I want to give you a contender so you can have a shot. Because again, remember what I said, we get the reclamation project. So he's like, no, I'm going to gift you a good team when Brady's still viable and relevant. So on the one hand, they're a Falcon rival, and like I said, I could give a crap, but on the other hand, you would want to see a Bowles survive and thrive, not just for his benefit, but for others coming behind. So that's the dilemma.
So you just and that's the Bucks. Wow, that's the Bucks associated. You're giving me a reason to go back to before Brady, because as soon as that trade was made, I was like, okay, I guess I can't ever kind of root for the Bucks, because
they got Julio too, Joe. They got Julio, Russell Gage. They got a number of ex-Falcons.
Man, what? I love Julio. That's what's up, man. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but it's like all I heard was Brady, and I was like, okay, I can't get my mind around it. But you know what? I think I can with everything you just said. For just that, they're not gonna be able to do it from everything I'm hearing. They're at that, like you said, it's the mid-mark.
They got time to turn it around.
Yeah, they might pull out the wild card stuff and all that. But for what you're talking about, what I know about it, usually you may make somebody else cry when they had the perfect record. The closer we get to the 18th week, but you ain't about to be the one, unless it's an absolute miracle because of so many injuries and all kind of crazy stuff.
Agreed.
And that's how you end up being that team in the Super Bowl. Like, all right, let's see how bad they get beat.
Because everybody's hurt by that point in the season. So yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Okay, Titans versus Chiefs.
Oh, KC all day. KC all day.
It ain't nothing to talk about. I know that.
Yeah. Well, there is something to talk about though.
Okay.
I mean, outside of Mahomes, who is possibly has the best arm talent we've ever seen at a position, and thinks the game, right? Travis Kelce, who's one of the best tight ends now or possibly ever, really was giving Mahomes his flowers. Because he has a very unique way of stands in the pocket, almost plays on his toes. Because Kelce's like, look, he's always poised, looking to make the play, whether it's with his feet, find an open man. He just has a way of thinking the game and advancing the ball down the field. And the elephant in the room with Kansas City, Eric Bieniemy, who was a star college player at Colorado and a accomplished NFL running back, is their offensive coordinator, and he's been waiting in the wings to become a head coach for years now. When they won the Super Bowl, he should have become a head coach, and it's a mystery as to why he hadn't gotten an opportunity. He does have some baggage in his past, some run-ins with the law and some unfortunate events, but nothing that would, I think, prevent him from. In other words, people have done worse and still gotten a head job, so it's an open question as to why he hasn't. So you would want to see that team continue to do well and their offense continue to do well, and possibly they get back to the Super Bowl and win it again, and EB gets a head job, because again, if he had the complexion for the protection, he'd already had it.
Boom. And that will end our segment for NFL this week. And I hope you guys and gals were taking notes, because I told you, and I'm going to tell you again, this man is always in the 90 percentile. He got you right. If you want to win, fantasy or otherwise, just from the fan side of seeing your team win, it's that guy.
Check the receipts.
Check the receipts. He got them. And it's a long scroll of wins.
It's a CVS receipt for you. Sorry.
Don't ever apologize for being you, my brother. For being you.